Welcome, everyone, to another Lessons with Luismenverg, with your host, as always, the disgraced science teacher, Izzy von Luismenverg. So, everybody loves snow, right? You know, falls from the sky, it's white, and turns into water when it gets hot. Yeah, that. Well, how about we live in a place where it's nothing but snow all the time, baby? Sounds great, right? Well, we'll see about that. Today, we're talking about the poles of the Earth and the places within them, the Arctic and Antarctica. The Arctic refers to the area at the very top of the world, aka its North Pole. Antarctica, meanwhile, is a continent located at the bottom of the world, or its South Pole. Both of them are extremely cold year-round, mostly because they get very little sunlight due to how they're situated. You see, the center of the Earth, the equator, gets the most heat and direct sunlight, but the more north or south you get from it, the further you get from the hot spot and therefore the light. In fact, in both places, wintertime, they get almost no sunlight, but conversely, in the summer, both places get pretty much nothing but sunlight. So yeah, they're very cold. In terms of weather, you basically only have snow. Maybe rain, but mostly snow. The Arctic has some vegetation, especially in its more southern regions, but Antarctica has basically no terrestrial plants. If you want to survive in either of these places, you need to be built to keep warm. Some examples include, from the North Pole, polar bears. They're a lot more carnivorous than most bears due to the little vegetation, and they, along with animals like muskox or caribou, have thick hairs designed to trap heat. And sea mammals have blubber, which is a specialized form of fat designed to trap heat. Meanwhile, in Antarctica, it's basically barren on land, with the most famous thing you'll find there being the flightless birds, the penguins. But even then, only two species, the emperor and Adelie, make permanent homes on the mainland. The other Antarctic species tend to live on islands around Antarctica, but not the main continent. But in the seas of both these places, you'll find some very interesting specimens. The Arctic has the sleeper shark, a massive shark that has a slow metabolism and has a ridiculously long lifespan. And Antarctica has the elusive colossal squid, and both places are also home to the orcas, the top dogs of the sea. As for people, humans have managed to live in the Arctic for a very long time, which probably is helped by the fact that we as humans came into existence during a time when the Earth was frozen over, so we already have the experience of how to survive cold weather. AKA, we don't have any fur, so you gotta make coats out of animals that do. You gotta know how to navigate the ice and make sure you don't fall in the water, since that's like a death sentence in the poles. And because snow is reflective, you gotta have specialized eyewear, aka the things that eventually became sunglasses. No one's native to Antarctica, however, both because of how isolated it is, and because, there's basically nothing there that you could start a civilization with. Nothing can grow there, and I doubt you can keep a civilization going on nothing but penguin meat. In fact, even in the modern day, nobody lives in Antarctica permanently. But during the summer, researchers tend to come down there and live in labs, but they leave before the winter comes, because winter in Antarctica does not sound like a fun time. In the early 1960s, most of the world's top countries came together and signed a treaty which stated that Antarctica is a nature preserve and therefore setting up permanent civilizations and looking for resources there is strictly forbidden. Because of this, nobody owns Antarctica, and there is no countries on the continent. So that's the Arctic and Antarctica for you. Yeah, it's cold. But you know it's really cold? Pluto at nighttime. It's already cold enough here during the day, but at night, don't even get me started. Well, that's a story for another day. See you guys next time. Goodbye.